Okay. I think everything is lining up here. Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Jeff Evenson. I'm a board certified doctor of holistic health, streaming live from my homestead and practice location in Finlayson, Minnesota. It's in northern Minnesota. Some people call it northern Minnesota. It's kind of east central Minnesota, but we are up north. I'm out here in the woods. I am not a medical doctor. I do not practice medicine. I do not prescribe. I do not treat. I do not diagnose with my patients, my clients. I simply help them get their health back holistically, naturally, without drugs or surgery. I use supplements. I do a lot of coaching, teaching people how to eat food again. And it's really all about helping people navigate their way back to the basics so they can get their health back without all the nasty side effects of the prescriptions or the surgeries for that matter. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm watching my dog out there. Hold on. Louie, you get up away from the road. Come on. He looked like he was wandering down by the road. And there's sometimes this traffic out there, so I don't need him to get hit by a car. All right, let me turn on the comments here. Okay, it looks like we got a few people watching. I appreciate you watching. It's if you're able to make comments, throw a comment, throw something in the chat, and say hi. Tell me where you're watching from. It's really fun to watch. So big things going on this week. This week I relaunched my website. I know, I was going to hire that out, and I got some bids, and just the amount of money to do a revamp on a website was, I think, kind of crazy, especially when there's tools out there nowadays that you can, like I ended up, for 20 years, I've been building my website in a thing called WordPress. Very technical. It can be very geeky and all that kind of stuff. But I finally came to grips with the fact that I don't always want things technical and to be geeky and because sometimes I have been busy. It is overcomplicating things going on in my schedule. And so I took a step back. I got out of WordPress and I'm currently hosting my website on GoDaddy.com. They have a website builder in there, and I walked through it, and it finally occurred to me that I might as well just build the website myself, because if I had somebody else do it, they're going to ask me for the same kind of content anyway, so they can put it up on the internet. And so I finally got that. But anyway, the website is launched. Go out there, take a look at it. There's a subscribe on the bottom of the main page and whatnot. Good morning, Teresa from Steuben, Maine. Thanks for joining. Teresa is one of our diehard show listeners. I really appreciate her. All right. So let's shift gears here into, the last couple of weeks I've been focused on the macronutrients. Okay, the macronutrients. 3 weeks ago, I did protein. I did a show on the truth about protein. Last week was on the truth about carbs. And this week is the truth about fats. Okay, fats, the truth about fats. Hey, Chris, another show, Die Hard. I appreciate you guys listening and watching. So, the truth about fats, friend, foe, or the fuel that you've been missing. We have all been taught that we should never eat fat. We've all done this. We've all gone through the low fat craze. Don't eat red meat because of the saturated fats. Stay away from eggs because of the cholesterol and the fat in the eggs. And I'm going to just say it. All of that is bullshit. We have been misled down a road because it sent everybody down the road. There's a rise in memory care units. You got to think about, why is that? Why is that? Why is that generation of people having to go in with dementia and Alzheimer's and whatnot? Because they've been eating low fat. They've been taking statin medications. I could go on. I could go on a tangent, but I do have a pretty good show written out for today, so I'll try to stick to my my show plan. So so here we go. All right. Um, this morning I'm going to be coming in kind of hot, as you kind of figured, because for decades we've been lied to. We've been lied to by the food industry. We've been lied to by outdated government guidelines. We've been lied to by marketing campaigns that made billions while people got sicker, heavier, and more inflamed. And you know what I'm talking about, because you can go out in public. If you ever go anywhere where there's a big crowd of people and you can sit there and people watch, look at all the people around that are overweight. It's crazy. So here it is. We were told fat makes you fat. We were told that fat clogs your arteries. We were told to fear it, avoid it, replace it with margarine, vegetable oil, and heart healthy, low fat foods. And what happened? Obesity exploded. Diabetes skyrocketed. Heart disease didn't go away, it got worse. Our kids are growing up with the same diseases that used to only hit people in their 50s and 60s. This isn't a coincidence. It's the result of following the wrong map. So here's the truth on that. Your body, get ready for this. Your body was designed to run on fat. The right fats are healing, nourishing, stabilizing. They build your hormones. They feed your brain. They repair your cells and protect you from disease. The wrong fats, well, they're toxic, inflammatory, and they hide in foods most people eat every single day without a second thought. So today I'm closing out my macronutrient series. We've talked about protein, we've talked about carbohydrates, and now we're going to dismantle the lies about fat and replace them with the truth that will set your body free. I'm going to show you why fat is not the enemy and never was, which fats to embrace and which to cut out like a bad habit. Get your notebooks out. How the balance of omega-3s and omega-6s can make or break your health. We're going to talk about why cholesterol is not a death sentence and statins are not the magic fix. And yes, why you can enjoy a grass-fed steak without guilt. Okay? So grab your coffee, lean in, and get ready, because by the end of this hour, you'll know exactly which fats heal, which fats harm, and how to use this knowledge to change your energy, your hormones, and your life. That's what this is about, folks. Trying to give you information that you can change your life with. It's never too late. And this isn't just about food. This is about reclaiming the fuel your body was made to run on. So let's go. Grab your coffee. I have mine right here. I've been looking, this is just an aside before I dive into the first segment. I've been looking back on all of the videos, and I had to really search. I found the very first episode of Morning Coffee with Doc Jeff. I am going to build out a section on my website where it'll be easy to find the videos and try to index them by topics and the things I talked about. But it was kind of fun to look back, and I remember exactly how it started, how I started my first show. I was standing in the kitchen one Saturday morning, having a cup of coffee and wishing I could just sit down and have someone to sit there and talk to about the stuff that I was rolling around in my head. And that's when I went live like 20 minutes after that for my very first show. I think it was just on Facebook Live. Um, that was April 6th, I'm sorry, not 19, April 6th, 2024. And I've gone almost weekly. Today's episode 66 in the whole stream of things. So pretty cool. Got a lot of people jumping on. If you're able to post your name and say hi in the chat. I'd like to see where you're watching from. I've got, looks like we have somebody from, of course, Teresa from Maine. I have Chris from Wisconsin. Where are you guys watching from? Throw your name in there. It's kind of fun to see what kind of coverage out there we're getting. Okay. All right. So what are fats really? All right. Let me set the tone this morning with a little fire because, I'm not here to play nice with misinformation. Okay. For decades, we've been gaslit by food marketing, government policy, and flat out bad science. Okay. The message was simple, repeated, and dangerous. Here's what they've been teaching us. Fat makes you fat. Fat causes heart disease. Eat fat and you'll die early. How many people have heard that? How many people have been living that? If you have, throw it in the chat. I used to live like that. Eat low fat, try to stay away from it. Looks like we have Darla from Grantsburg, Wisconsin. Hi, Darla. And Krista from White Bear Lake. Sorry, I had to do the Fargo White Bear Lake. That's south of here. All right. But if you lived that lifestyle, the low fat lifestyle, it it might be responsible for, if your health is out of balance, for why it's out of balance today. Okay. And the sad part is millions, and this included me, millions of people listened. Okay. They switched to low fat yogurts, fat free crackers, skim milk, margarine, and microwave meals labeled heart healthy. You imagine margarine? I can picture it now. Margarine, tubs of country crock. And then we'd save the plastic container for food storage later. Holy shit. I look at that and it's like, are you kidding me? But we didn't know any better, did we? What happened with the low fat craze? Obesity skyrocketed. Diabetes exploded. Heart disease didn't go away and it got worse. You want to know why? Because it was never fat's fault. The human body was designed to run on fat. And let me say that again. Your body was created to thrive on fat. Okay. And here we have Teresa. I'm going to post her message up on the screen from Maine. Teresa from Maine. I was on a low-fat diet for years until I became a client of Doc Jeff. It was a complete game changer for me. Very hard to reprogram your brain, but it is worth it. It is. Thank you, Teresa, for sharing that. It is hard to reprogram your brain to unlearn all of the things that we were taught. It was almost a religion. by some. Oh my God, don't put that fat in your mouth. You're going to die early. Oh my shit. I look at that today, and as a holistic practitioner, knowing what I know today, it's like, oh my goodness. All right, so let's get into it. Why is fat essential? Okay, and why it's not optional. So, we're not just talking about a passive fuel source here. Fats are foundational to your biology. Okay, here we go. Your brain is nearly 60% fat, not carbs, not protein, fat. So if you starve your body of healthy fats, you're starving your mind. You're risking brain fog, mood swings, poor memory, even neurodegenerative disease down the road. Your brain needs fat, people. And eating a low fat diet is starving. So think about it. Put on your tinfoil hat. We are so much easier to control as a people if we are dumbed down, and not operating optimally or efficiently in our health. Easier to control. I know, conspiracy. But if you look over the last few years, a lot of the conspiracies that people like me have been talking about are all coming true. Sorry, had to get that out there. All right. So the next one here, aside from your brain being 60% fat, how about your hormones? Every single hormone in your body makes, every single hormone that your body makes, from testosterone and estrogen to cortisol and progesterone, starts with a cholesterol backbone. Let that sink in. Okay. No fat equals no hormones equals no life. This is why so many people, especially women, start breaking down when they go low fat. They get irregular periods, low libido, hot flashes, adrenal fatigue, and they don't know why. I'm telling you why. And for the men, they get erectile dysfunction, they get low testosterone, low libido, their moods are going to go off the charts. This is why, folks, you don't have fat or enough fat in your diet. Good fat. We're going to talk about different types later. And then your cells. Here's the big one. This is my favorite one to talk about when I'm talking cholesterol. Your cells, literally the walls of every cell in your body, are made up of a phospholipid layer, bilayer. That's a fancy way of saying fat makes the structure of your biology. Without it, your cells weaken, they break, and can't communicate properly. Every cell membrane has fat and cholesterol in it. And that's what makes the cell strong, the cell wall strong. It's with fat. Then we have fat soluble vitamins. We talked about some of these on one of the other shows. The fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, only get absorbed when the right fats are present in the diet. You could be eating the best food in the world, popping the cleanest supplements money can buy, but if you don't have enough quality fat in your diet, you're not absorbing those nutrients. You're wasting your time and your money. So, where did the fat is bad myth even come from? Okay. You can't talk about how we got on this without sharing this little bit of information. Let's rewind. In the 1950s, yep, goes all the way back, a man named Ansel Keys ran a study called the 7 Countries Study. He cherry-picked data to suggest that saturated fat was causing heart disease. And what they didn't tell you was that he ignored the countries where people were eating high-fat diets and thriving. That one manipulated study influenced decades of food policy, including the 1977 Dietary Guidelines, which launched the whole low-fat craze. And who benefited? Not you, not your family, not your heart. The processed food industry did. The pharmaceutical companies did. And the margarine and seed oil industries did. Can you imagine having a legacy where it's finally proven out that your your irresponsibility was responsible for causing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of death over time? Yeah, Ansel Keys. I'm hanging the sign right on his head. He's responsible. Why? Pride and ego. So fat equals smart. Okay? Fat equals hormones. And fat equals survival. So let's flip the script right now. Fat isn't bad. Okay? Fat is brilliant. Your body craves it, not just for energy, but for structure, function, hormones, and healing. And here's the kicker: your body is actually more efficient at running on fat for fuel than carbs. It's called ketosis. And no, I'm not saying everyone has to go full keto. I'm not talking about that. But your body knows how to burn fat. It's a cleaner burn, it's more stable energy. So, do you ever feel like you're hungry every 2 to 3 hours? That's your blood sugar crashing. Okay? You're running on carbs. Eat more healthy fats, and you're full longer, your brain stays sharp, and your energy stabilizes. Okay. What's interesting, I've learned this over the years, that if I'm going to do a long road trip where I have to drive for most of the day before I cut out all carbs. And while I'm on the road trip, I don't eat any carbs. I eat only protein and fat because I want to stay awake when I'm driving. If I throw any kind of carbs in, I am nodding off. I'm getting the nods when I'm driving on the road, and sometimes I have to pull over, even if it's just for 10 minutes, to close my eyes, let it pass, and then I can go again. But it's crazy. Carbs do that to you. So the real danger is not fat, but the wrong kinds of fat. Okay, not all fats are created equal. Just like not all carbs are bad and not all protein is good, the quality matters. So here's a snapshot we'll explore in detail later. But saturated fats, it's been vilified for decades, now understood to be essential in the right context. Okay, found in things like butter, coconut oil, and red meat. They're stable at high heat, they support the immune system, and they help produce hormones. And then you have monosaturated fats. Those come from avocados, olive oil, nuts. These fats support heart health, reduce inflammation in the body, and help balance cholesterol. And now we're moving into the polyunsaturated fats. And this is a double edged sword. You need some, like omega 3s, but most people are overloaded with omega 6s. And we're going to break that down a little bit later in an aside. But yeah. And then the fats, this is where we get into the bad fats, trans fats. Let's call it the Frankenfat, right? Instead of Frankenstein, Frankenfat. These are fats chemically altered to extend shelf life. They're found in fast food, processed snacks, margarine, shortening. These fats are inflammatory, artery clogging, and should never be consumed. Never. Yet many still are, and especially when you're eating out. And it was sad, when I learned this years ago, because I used to have a reputation just around the holidays. I would always make uh, pie crust from scratch, homemade pie crust, and it was always so flaky and all that kind of stuff. And the key ingredient when I was doing it was Crisco shortening. Man, the pie crust would come out just nice and flaky and all that. And so, no, don't use shortening. Anyway, but here's the truth on what I want you to embrace today. Okay, your body isn't broken. You're not defective. You've just been following advice that goes against your biological design. Okay, if you've been afraid of fat, it's time to stop. If you've been eating low fat and wondering why you still feel inflamed, bloated, tired, depressed, it's time to dig deeper. Okay, because the missing piece might be more fat, not less. So today we're going to unlearn the lies, reconnect with truth, and give you the freedom to stop fearing fat and start fueling your body the way it was made to run. Okay. Hey, Marie. Maria's from Minnesota here. Nice to see you. Appreciate everybody chiming in and telling me where they're watching from. All right, so we have an aside here. Got a couple of sides. The calorie trap. Okay. Let's talk about calories for a minute. We've all heard it. It's just calories in and calories out. Burn more than you eat and you'll lose weight. What am I going to say? I'm going to say bullshit. Okay. That's been the foundation of mainstream nutrition advice for decades, and it's wrong. Not because calories don't matter at all, they do, but because your body isn't a bank account, it's a chemistry lab. All calories are not created equal. So here's the breakdown, okay? Fat. With fat, you get 9 calories per gram of fat. Okay? And then with protein and carbohydrate, you get 4 calories per gram. So yes, fat has more than twice the calories per gram compared to carbs or protein, but that doesn't make it bad. In fact, fat is more efficient fuel for your body and provides longer lasting energy without the blood sugar crash that you get from carbs. And hormones control the game. Weight loss, weight gain, inflammation, cravings, these are all hormone driven processes, not just math equations. Okay. Insulin, cortisol, leptin, and ghrelin. They respond to what you eat, when you eat, and how often. So, eating 500 calories of healthy fat and protein can stabilize hormones and keep you full for hours. Whereas eating 500 calories of refined carbs and seed oils can throw your hormones into chaos and make you hungrier. Okay. And what I'm talking about there is eating, if you're trying to lose the weight, this has to be a long-term project. Okay. You want to stick with the healthy fat and protein until you get to the weight that you want. You can have a couple carbs, not the refined carbs. But you got to eat healthy fat and protein to lose weight. And I remember a book by Dr. Mary Enig. There's a book out there called Eat Fat to Lose Fat. And she was one of the early doctors talking about the benefits of eating fat in terms of being able to lose weight. Okay. So here's why calorie counting often fails. If it were just about math, 1,200 calories of Twinkies would make you just as lean and healthy as 1,200 calories of grass-fed beef, veggies, and avocado. And we both know that's ridiculous. Because when I'm doing food journals with my clients, I don't ask them to put calories on there because it doesn't mean shit. On my food journals, when I'm working with clients, I just want to know what people are eating. Okay. Calorie counting ignores nutrient density, it ignores food quality, it ignores hormonal impact, it ignores digestive health, and it ignores inflammation. So the better focus is, instead of obsessing over calories, focus on food quality. Eat real whole foods in their natural state. That means eat an orange instead of drinking orange juice. You also want to look at the macronutrient balance. Remember, macronutrients are what we're talking about over the last few weeks: protein, carbs, and fat. So the macronutrient balance is get healthy fats, quality protein, and nutrient dense carbs each day. We'll talk more about that too. Meal timing. Give your body time to burn fat between meals instead of snacking all day. I know when I'm eating right, when I'm eating along this, I don't have snacks throughout the day. I don't feel like I have to go rummaging through the pantry or anything like that. I can eat my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right. And then reducing inflammation. To do that, you want to cut your seed oils, you want to cut your excess sugar and processed junk. And so when you do this, your body will naturally regulate hunger, energy, and weight without you having to count every bite. So calories matter, but quality and hormonal impact matter more. And if you fix those, the numbers tend to take care of themselves. So the good fats versus the bad fats, okay? Let's keep our momentum going. Because now that you understand fat isn't the enemy, the next logical question is, okay, doc, then which fats should I be eating? And which ones should I be running from like they're on fire? And this is where most people get tripped up, okay? Because the food industry has blurred the lines here. They slap words like heart healthy and cholesterol free on labels and expect you to just trust it. But what they don't tell you is that the fats inside that so called healthy food may be causing inflammation, may be disrupting your hormones and damaging your cells. So let's get real. Let's break it down fat by fat so you can start making empowered choices. This is why I look at food journals. And once I start to understand what a person is actually eating, I can help steer them into better foods. Good fats. Eat these, love these, don't fear these. Okay, this is the good fats section. Get your notes out. These are the fats that fuel your body, protect your brain, balance your hormones, and help you absorb critical nutrients. So, monosaturated fats. These are found in avocados, olive oil, especially extra virgin, olives, almonds, cashews, macadamia nuts. Okay? Why do they matter? Why does this matter? These fats, they help lower inflammation. They support healthy cholesterol balance and are great for heart and brain health. They're fairly stable and great for light sautéing or salad dressings. Okay. I think I meant to put avocado oil on that list too. Um, I know avocado oil is better for higher heat, and olive oil is better for the salad dressings. Okay, be cautious though here. Even good oils can oxidize if you leave the bottle open, or if you store it near heat, or use it at high temperatures. So the next category of fats are the saturated fats. All right, these are found in coconut oil, grass-fed butter or ghee. You have pastured animal fats like lard and tallow. You have full fat dairy if you can tolerate dairy. Full fat dairy. It's one of the first things I do if I see people are milk drinkers. Some people will be drinking skim milk or 1% or 2%. Number one advice I give people is stop drinking that stuff and drink whole milk because your body needs the fat. And if you can get the whole milk that has been um, non homogenized, which means it will separate when it sits still and you have to shake it before you can drink it to mix it all back up, that's better. Raw milk is the best if you're going to drink milk. I love the taste of raw milk. Boy, it's out of this world. I can get it up here in Minnesota if I go to I know what farm I can go to. And that's another one, folks, that we've been trained to believe raw milk is bad. Of course, it's going to be bad if you have a farmer that's not taking care of the cows and keeping things clean. Okay. But most farmers that are providing raw milk to for human consumption do a pretty damn good job at keeping things clean. I don't think there's ever been a case of someone getting sick from raw milk. Um, People get sick from pasteurized milk and homogenized, but that's a whole different topic. All right. So why do these matter? These fats are stable, and we're still talking about saturated fats. These fats are stable at high heat, meaning they don't go rancid easily. They're excellent for cooking, baking, and frying. And here it goes. Your hormones are made from the cholesterol and saturated fat found in these sources. So don't let outdated dogmas scare you away from them. Okay? Your grandparents were cooking with lard and butter, and they didn't have the rates of heart disease that we're seeing now. Ask yourself why. Okay? Next category of fats are omega-3 fats. It's a special category of the polyunsaturated fats. These are found in wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, um, chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, high-quality fish oil supplements. And why do they matter? Omega-3s are potent anti-inflammatories. They protect the heart, they support brain function and reduce joint pain and balance your mood. I've worked with people over the years that are depressed or dealing with anxiety, and I put them on a good fish oil, balances their moods right out. Woof. Most Americans are deficient in omega 3s and overloaded in omega 6s. And we're going to go deep into that in the next slide. So, the bad fats, these are the fats that I want you to avoid like the plague. Okay. These are the fats that clog up your system, damage your cells, and ignite chronic inflammation. Here it is, trans fats. Trans fats, hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils. And these are found in margarine, shortening, baked goods like store-bought cookies, pastries, and crackers, deep fried fast foods, non-dairy creamers, and some microwave popcorn. Who doesn't like a deep fried fast food? I tell you what, if you're going to get something deep fried, I like some of these restaurants that are publicly saying that there's switching their fryer oil back to tallow. If you deep fry something in tallow, I will likely eat it. But remember, folks, on this list, I can't count the number of people that I've had come off of these non-dairy creamers because they want their frickin' coffee to taste good. Learn to drink coffee black. Stop killing it with killing yourself with these non-dairy creamer shit that you're putting in it. Okay? And microwave popcorn. It's never good, microwave popcorn. Just don't eat it. I don't even have a microwave in my house. Make popcorn from scratch. Remember on the stove? Put a little avocado oil in there. Throw the kernels in, heat it up, it pops. Put some organic sea salt on there, and get this, real butter. Whoa. That is a popcorn treat right there. So why are these harmful? Well, trans fats were created in a lab. They're designed to extend shelf life, not your life. They interfere with cell membrane function. They raise bad LDLs, lower good HDL, and increase heart disease risk, stroke, and dementia. Even though they're banned in many countries, they still hide in processed foods under sneaky names, so you have to read the labels. So, refined industrial seed oils, also known as the real modern killer, these are found in canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, vegetable oil, sunflower and safflower oils when they're not cold pressed. Why they're harmful? These oils are made in factories using chemical solvents, high heat, and deodorization processes to mask the rancidity. They're high in omega 6 fats, which promote inflammation, and especially when they dominate your diet. Most fast food joints cook everything in these. Restaurants reuse the oils over and over, reheating them past smoking point, creating toxic aldehydes and free radicals that can damage your arteries, brain, and immune system. So if we do a quick comparison, based on the fat source, is it good or bad? Like extra virgin olive oil is good. You can use that for dressings and light cooking. Grass-fed butter is good. It's rich in vitamins A, D, K2, and CLA. Canola oil, bad. Highly processed omega 6 dominant. Coconut oil, good. Great for high heat, and it's antimicrobial. Margarine, bad. Contains trans fats. It's toxic. It's only one molecule away from oil. Isn't that crazy? Avocados, it's good. Nutrient dense and anti-inflammatory. Corn oil, bad. Often GMO. It's inflammatory. Ghee is good. It's clarified butter and lactose free. Deep fried fast food, bad. Cooked in reused oxidized oils. And then wild salmon, good. It's high in EPA and DHA, which are omega 3s. Okay. And one more thing, oil quality matters. Even a good oil can go bad if it's stored wrong or used improperly. Okay. Don't use olive oil on high heat because it oxidizes quickly. Don't buy oils in clear plastic bottles. Light, heat, and air degrade them fast. You want to look for cold pressed, unrefined, and stored in dark glass. So here's the real takeaway. You don't need to fear fat, okay? You need to fear manipulated, refined, damaged fat. The right fats, they build your health from the inside out, feeding your brain, fueling your cells, calming your inflammation, and giving your body the foundation it needs to thrive. The wrong fats, they break you down from the inside out, one bite at a time. So when you're at the store or in your kitchen or ordering at a restaurant, pause, ask, is this fat building my body or breaking it? And just like that, you're back in control. So let's do a quick aside. The omega balance, the battle inside your body. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about the balance of omega fats in your body? Well, most people have no idea this internal war is even happening, let alone that it's the reason they're inflamed, in pain, foggy, moody, and stuck in a body that just won't heal. We've been taught that fats are just calories, as I've said before, a number on a label, but they're not. They're messengers. And omega fats in particular, they're sending biochemical signals that either say calm down, heal, and rebuild, or sound the alarm, we're under attack. And here's the deal, your body needs both of these fats, omega 3s and omega 6s. They're essential, meaning your body can't make them. So you must get them from food. But it's not just about getting enough of them, it's about getting them in the right ratio. Because omega 3s are anti inflammatory, they tell your immune system, stand down, we're safe. Omega 6s are pro inflammatory, they tell your immune system, attack, defend, fire, everything. So now you need that inflammatory response sometimes, like when you get cut or sick. That's what omega 6s are for. But what happens when that switch gets stuck on? You get chronic inflammation. And here's where you can think arthritis, you can think autoimmunity, allergies, IBS, brain fog, depression. It's like a forest fire that never gets put out. It's what's happening in Canada. Sorry, I had to get that in there. So what's the ideal ratio? Okay, in ancestral diets, the way humans ate for thousands of years, the omega 6 to omega 3 ratio was around 1 to 1 or 2 to 1. In the modern American diet, most of them are at 20 to 1, 30 to 1, sometimes worse, meaning higher on the omega 6 and low on the omega 3. That means for everyone calming, healing omega 3 molecule, you've got 20 or more little inflammation grenades going off inside you. And so now you can see why chronic disease is exploding. So, where are all these omega 6s coming from? The short answer is seed oils and processed foods. Corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower, and safflower. They're in chips, crackers, frozen meals, dressings, mayonnaise, restaurant fryers. Even healthy protein bars and almond butter can be laced with them. Add that to the fact that most people are not eating enough fatty fish, chia, flax, or walnuts, and the balance gets totally out of whack. So, why does that matter? The ratio impacts everything. It impacts inflammation levels, cardiovascular health, mental clarity, health, and mood, joint pain and recovery, autoimmune risk, brain development in children, Alzheimer's risk in adults. This is why people can be doing everything right, eating clean, working out, sleeping okay, and still not feel well. If you don't fix this fat balance, you're walking uphill with a weight vest strapped to your cells. Okay? So, how do you restore balance? You ditch the seed oils. You check every label and clear them from your pantry. You cook with stable fats like avocado oil, butter, coconut oil, and ghee. And in omega 3s daily, or add in omega 3s daily, which is wild salmon, sardines, mackerel, chia seeds, flaxseed, walnuts, high quality fish oil supplements, and you reduce processed food, even the healthy ones. So if you're inflamed, achy, tired, or moody, this imbalance might be at the root of it all. And so when you think of fats going forward, don't just think good versus bad, think balance, think messengers, think internal chemistry, and ask yourself, am I feeding inflammation or am I fueling healing? Because the war inside your body is real, and the fats that you choose are choosing sides. So Fats and health. We talk about cholesterol, hormones, and the big pharma lie. This is the next segment here. I'm going to take a quick drink of coffee. All right, so let's have an honest conversation. I'm going to speed up because I'm noticing the time. Um, because what I'm about to say might make you question everything you thought you knew about fat and heart health if it hasn't already. Cholesterol, here it is. Cholesterol is not the enemy. In fact, without it, you die. It's that simple. That's not dramatic, that's biological fact. Your body doesn't make mistakes. If it produces cholesterol, there's a reason. It's not some rogue molecule waiting to clog up your arteries. It's vital to your survival. So, why did it become public enemy number one? Because somewhere along the way, medicine stopped looking at the body as a whole system and started chasing numbers on a lab report instead of understanding the why behind them. Cholesterol is essential for life. Let's break it down. Every hormone your body makes, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, starts with cholesterol as the base material. No cholesterol equals no hormones, period. Your brain uses cholesterol to build synapses, protect neurons, and regulate mood. Low cholesterol is linked to depression, suicidal ideation, and cognitive decline. Your immune system uses cholesterol to repair damaged tissue and fight infection. When there's inflammation in the body, especially in the blood vessels, cholesterol shows up like a construction crew. It doesn't cause the damage, it's trying to repair it. So when you have high cholesterol, the better question is what's causing the inflammation that's calling in the repair team? And the statin problem, let's get real here. Statin drugs are a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they work by one mechanism. They block an enzyme, HMG-CoA reductase, that helps your body make cholesterol. Sounds good on paper, right? Lower the cholesterol, lower the heart disease risk. Wrong, because that enzyme also helps make coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, a nutrient that your cells need for energy production. It's in the Krebs cycle. It's in the energy transport chain. So here's it's needed. Your cells need it for energy production, especially in your heart and brain. Excuse me. So here's what really happens when people go on statins. They might experience muscle pain and weakness. They might start to experience memory problems. I've seen this. I have an older client that was on statins, and I encouraged her to work with her doctor to get off the statins, and her memory started coming back. Okay. Brain fog, fatigue, hormonal imbalances, loss of sex drive. And for many, no actual reduction in heart attacks, especially in low-risk populations. So let me be clear. I'm not saying no one should ever take a statin. I kind of am. But I am saying the vast majority of people prescribed one are never told the full story. They're told your cholesterol is high, here's a pill. They're not told, let's test your inflammation markers. Let's look at your LDL particle size. Are they big and fluffy, which is safe, or are they small and dense, which is dangerous? Or let's figure out why your body's sending cholesterol to those areas in the first place. Because that takes time. That takes root cause thinking. That takes functional medicine, not 10-minute sick care visits. Fats support heart health. They don't destroy it. So let's connect it all back to fats. Eating healthy fats like omega-3s, saturated fat from grass-fed animals, and monosaturated fats help regulate inflammation, balance cholesterol, and stabilize blood sugar. People on low-fat diets often end up on statins because their body is starving for building materials. The body starts to panic and the blood chemistry reflects it. There was a study published in The Lancet in 2017 that showed that higher fat consumption was associated with lower mortality, while diets low in fat were correlated with higher death rates. Let that sink in. When you remove fat from the diet, you don't just mess with your heart, you derail your entire system. Women lose their cycles or get severe PMS. Men see testosterone levels tank. Adrenal glands get burned out trying to compensate. And then blood sugar becomes unstable, leading to cravings, crashes, and eventual insulin resistance. And this is the lie that we've been living under. If I cut fat, I'll lose weight and be healthier. No. What often happens is you gain weight. You feel terrible, you're craving sugar, you tank your hormones, and wind up back at the doctor with a new prescription. The true markers of heart risk is, if you really want to know your risk, these are better labs than total cholesterol. Triglyceride to HDL ratio, optimal is under 2 to 1. LDL particle size, the HSCRP, which measures inflammation. You have lipoproteins, lipoprotein A, which is a genetic marker of risk, fasting insulin. There's another blood test that I'm getting ready to come out with for my clients. It's called the MVX Plus, and I'll tell you more about that. It is giving us a better predictor of health and longevity. And the information in that lab can help me steer a person's healing journey with just that simple blood test. So let me say this again loud and clear, all right? Cholesterol is not your enemy. Fat is not your enemy. Inflammation is. Oxidation is. Sugar overload is. And chronic stress is. If your doctor isn't talking to you about root causes, you don't have a health plan. You've got a symptom suppression strategy. And you deserve better. I work on real health plans with people. Okay. Another aside on this is childhood obesity. How did we get here? This absolutely breaks my heart when I see this. Walking into a school event or a grocery store and seeing how many kids today are overweight, inflamed, and exhausted before they've even hit puberty. And I'm not talking about a little baby fat. I'm talking about full-on metabolic syndrome in grade school. Insulin resistance, fatty liver, high blood pressure, depression, zero energy, behavioral issues. Do you realize these are the same conditions we used to see only in middle-aged adults? And now they're showing up in elementary school. So how did we get here? It didn't happen overnight. Yes, Darla, I agree. Statins are evil. It's been decades in the making, a perfect storm of bad advice, processed food, and lifestyle shifts. Okay. Number one is the low-fat lie. Parents switched the whole household to skim milk, low-fat yogurt, fat-free snacks, thinking they were protecting the kids. But when you take out fat, you have to replace it with something, and that something was sugar. Processed kid food. This is number two. Chicken nuggets, pizza pockets, fruit snacks, boxed macaroni. They're cheap, fast, and marketed with cartoon characters. But they're loaded with seed oils, refined carbs, and additives that spike blood sugar, drive inflammation, and crush nutrient absorption. Then you have number three, sedentary lifestyles. Kids used to ride bikes, climb trees, and play outside until the streetlights came on. Now too many are glued to a screen for hours a day, with PE classes being cut from schools. And then number four is sugar at every turn. Cereal for breakfast, juice boxes at lunch, sport drinks for practice, dessert after dinner, and some kids are consuming their entire day's sugar limit before lunch. And so why does this matter? Childhood obesity isn't just about appearance. It's about setting the stage for a lifetime of health problems. Type 2 diabetes before age 15. joint problems from carrying this excess weight, hormonal disruption during key developmental years, emotional struggles from bullying or poor self image, and then a shortened lifespan. Yes, kids today are projected to live shorter lives than their parents. And here's the hard truth, okay? I'm going to get down to this. Some people are not going to like this. Kids are not in control of what goes into the pantry or fridge. Parents are. And I get it. Life is busy. Money is tight. Convenience is tempting. But every bite a child eats is an investment in their future health, for better or worse. And if we want to see healthier kids, we have to fix the home first. And that means parents getting educated, making better choices. And this is the tough one, being willing to set boundaries. Sometimes that means telling grandma, no, they can't have that treat. I'm not feeding them that junk. Sometimes it means packing a lunch instead of trusting the school cafeteria. And sometimes it means learning to cook again, even simple meals. Folks, you are in charge of the food that goes into your kid's mouth. There's a better way forward. We can reverse this trend, but it starts one household at a time. Replace soda and juice with water or herbal teas. Bring back healthy fats. Eat eggs, butter, avocado, nut butters. Teach kids how to move, play, and cook. Lead by example. Kids mimic what they see. And if you're a parent struggling with your own health, start there. Heal yourself first. When your kids see you changing, they learn it's possible and they'll want to follow. That's why this conversation about fats, sugars, and inflammation is not just an adult conversation. This is about breaking the cycle so the next generation doesn't grow up sicker and more dependent on pharmaceuticals than the last. All right, so we'll go through the rest of this information pretty quickly. I want to talk about where fats hide in the diet. You know, if there's one thing that the food industry is really good at, it's hiding bad fats in places that you'd never expect. Even in foods that look healthy on the surface, this is why people can come to me and say, Doc, I eat pretty clean. I don't know why I'm still inflamed, bloated, and low energy. And then we look at the details, and it turns out they're getting blasted with oxidized seed oils or trans fats and chemical-laden spreads every single day without realizing it. So let's pull back the curtain. Some of these I touched on. Restaurant fryers, the toxic vat. When you order fries, onion rings, or fried chicken at most restaurants, you're not just getting oil, you're getting reheated, reused, oxidized seed oil that's been brought past smacking point dozens of times. Smoking point dozens of times. When oil gets reheated like that, it breaks down into aldehydes. Those are toxic compounds that can actually damage our DNA. They can accelerate aging and promote cancer. And here's the kicker. Even grilled food at some restaurants is brushed with these same oils to keep it from sticking. Number 2 is packaged snack foods, crackers, chips, granola bars, pretzels, even the healthy baked veggie chips. Almost all of them are fried in or sprayed with canola, soybean, or sunflower oil. You could be eating something marketed as whole grain or organic, but if the fat is coming from industrial seed oil, you're still getting inflammation in every bite. Number 3 is the coffee creamers and spreads. Flavored creamers, margarine, non-dairy whipped toppings. These are trans fat bombs in disguise. Even if the label says 0 grams of trans fat, the FDA allows that claim if there's less than 0.5 grams per serving. But let's be real, nobody's sticking to the serving size. Most people just dump it in. Number 4 is low fat and diet foods. Remember this from segment 1. When they take out fat, they replace it with sugar and seed oils to keep the texture. Low-fat peanut butter, usually loaded with sugar and hydrogenated oil. Low-fat salad dressing, sugar, corn syrup, and cheap oils. Low-fat yogurt, sugar bomb with some protein. And then my favorite, the condiments and sauces. Ketchup. A lot of ketchup has sugar in it. Mayonnaise, ranch, barbecue sauce, all seed oil central. Even organic versions can sneak them in unless you specifically look for avocado oil, olive oil, or coconut oil as the base of options. And then your frozen and convenience foods, microwave dinners, frozen pizzas, veggie burgers, even frozen healthy wraps are often made with cheap oils because they're shelf stable and cost pennies compared to real food fats. So why does this matter? You could be cooking all your meals in avocado oil and grass-fed butter at home and still be inflamed because you're eating out a few times a week or grabbing a snack at the gas station. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Not enough to knock you out in one sitting, but enough to keep you tired, bloated, and on the road to chronic illness. And I will submit, I believe almost every time when you are having a challenge losing fat, and I've heard it time and time again, my diet is clean, there's something in there. And sadly, if you're trying to lose that weight, you have to be strict and focused and disciplined to stay the course. And I'm talking about not even taking one bite of something when you're on that journey. You get absolute about it. And if you do it, it's not going to be forever. You stay that way until you get to the weight. And by that time, you may not want to eat all the other stuff that you kept out of your diet. So here's how you spot and avoid the hidden fats. Read every label. Look for canola, soybean, vegetable, cottonseed, corn, sunflower. You can ask restaurants what they cook with. You have a right to know. You can swap condiments, use avocado oil mayo, or make your own dressings. You can ditch the fryer foods. Even air fried at restaurants often isn't truly oil free. And batch cook at home so you're not tempted by convenience foods. Make enough so you have leftovers. Okay. You're not going to be perfect and you don't need to be, but if you can eliminate the biggest repeat offenders from your weekly routine, your inflammation will drop, your energy will rise, and you'll actually get the benefits from the healthy fats that you're eating. Because here's the truth, you can't out supplement, out exercise, or out meditate a diet that's constantly sneaking in toxic fats. All right. We've torn apart the myths, we've called out the food industry, cleared the name of fats. Now it's time to make this real so you know exactly what to do when you walk into your kitchen, go grocery shopping, or sit down at a restaurant. Because here's the truth, knowing is good, but doing is better. Right? Step one, swap out bad for the good. Don't try to add healthy fats on top of bad ones. Replace them. Toss, throw these out. The canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, and vegetable oil. Throw it out, throw it in the bin. Along with that, throw in the margarine and shortening. Get it out. Processed low fat spreads in the bin. And then deep fryer foods from restaurants. Okay. Replace those with avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, grass fed butter or ghee, or pastured animal fats, lard or tallow. Step two, get your omega 3s every day. Your body can't make them, you have to eat them. Wild salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies. All four of those, I'm going to be honest, I will never eat. Those foods will never pass my lips. So I'm going to go for the other options on this list: chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, high quality fish oil or algae oil supplements. Okay. And step three, don't fear saturated fat from clean sources. Grass fed, grass finished beef, pastured pork and lamb, wild game. These support hormones, brain health, and cellular integrity. And number 4, store and cook fats the right way. Even the best oil can go rancid if you abuse it. Store it in dark glass bottles away from heat and light. Use avocado, coconut, butter, or ghee for high heat cooking. And use olive oil for salad dressings or low heat sauteing. And step 5 is think balance, not extremes. You don't need to eat sticks of butter or drink olive oil by the glass. You also don't need to cut fat to near zero. Balance your plate. Healthy, healthy fats plus quality protein plus nutrient dense carbs equals long lasting, stable mood and better health. And as a bonus, read the labels like your health depends on it, okay? Because it does. If it has more than 5 ingredients or you can't pronounce the oil listed, it's probably not something that you want in your body. So let's bring it all together. The right fats. They heal inflammation, support hormones, protect your brain, fuel your energy, and make food taste better. And that's okay. The wrong fats inflame you, disrupt hormones, damage your cells, steal your energy, hide in almost everything processed. The choice is yours, really. Every meal, every snack, every bite. And if you take what we've talked about today and apply even 50% of it, you'll start feeling the difference. Not next year, not next month, but this week. And so this wraps up our entire macro series: protein, carbohydrates, and now fats. And if there's one takeaway from all three, it's this: your body isn't a math problem, it's a living system. Feed it real, whole, balanced food, and it will reward you with health. Okay. Um, just a couple quick things here. If you want some help in getting your health back, I will invite you to scan the QR code in the upper right corner there to schedule a full assessment, or you can go to my new website, evensonholistic.com, and right on the main page, it says begin your journey now. You can click that button and it will schedule you. You're welcome, Darla. I appreciate it. You can use the promo code Health Truth and it'll save you $200. Okay. And then if you're interested, I'm speaking at the Quantum Leap conference in Orlando in October. And there's the QR code for that. You can get a VIP ticket. If you decide to go to the conference because you're interested in holistic health, you don't have to be a holistic practitioner. You can be a mom looking to take care of their family. You could be a medical professional looking to learn more about holistic options. This is a great conference to go, and the VIP ticket is the way you want to do that conference. Trust me on that. Okay, you will not be disappointed. So, schedule. I look forward to seeing you on my calendar. Let's pray real quick. Dear Heavenly Father, we covered a lot of information over the series on protein, carbohydrates, fats. It's really been about teaching people and hopefully providing valued information. I pray that whoever needed to hear what was said over those 3 episodes, and especially today, will have the courage to take action and make choices and decide that they want to feel better in their bodies. This is, as you know, a struggle that I have had. It's a daily struggle to always do the things consistently every single day. So help us with the encouragement, the motivation, the determination, dedication, discipline that we need to better our health and maintain our health and take care of the health of our families. Through your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, folks, great show today. I'm sorry I went over. I appreciate you hanging for the duration. You have, and let me stop the share. You have an awesome week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. I'm not sure what my topic will be yet, but I'll figure it out.